Hi, welcome back to the garden. I'm Dawn, and today we're going to be making heavy-duty tomato cages. All right, we're back in the garden, and this is the summer squash, and this is my winter squash, and we grow them vertically in these cages, and they fit nicely in there, and they grow up. It's easy to pick the zucchini. The winter squash, I really like it for that. What they do is they climb up, they hook on, and as they get bigger, they go across, and I just keep weaving them back and forth, and then all my winter squashes just hang, and it keeps them off the ground, away from the bugs, and saves a lot of space. And we have all the cages put on, except for I need 4 more cages, and Tom's going to show you in a minute how to make them and how we do it. And we use a T-post to secure them. We have the T-post, and then once we get it on, we zip tie it onto the T-post. We have 5 T-posts in the whole bed, and then once we get the other 4 cages in here, then we take a string and we tie those together, and that way, you know, we get those big summer storms with the big winds, because these are going to go up really high, and if you don't have the T-post in here, the whole cage can just get knocked over because it's not secured into the ground. The T-posts are what's holding it up. So let's go out and have Tom make a couple of these cages, and I'll show you how we put them in. So here's a look at our determinate tomatoes. We also put these in cages since they don't get as tall as indeterminate. And here's a look at some of the old cages we made. Now, we used to do this, just twist them together like this, but they can be very sharp when you're picking tomatoes. I'll show you another one. So they stick out like this, and we really didn't like that. So then we went to start making them with these little rings. And so Tom's going to make a couple with these. Let's see how he does it.
So this is a concrete reinforcement mesh. Comes in like a 150-foot roll by, I think, 5 feet, something like that. This is our second roll. We just happen to have enough left that I can make a few more cages because our garden is always changing and expanding. So I cut this off 9 squares. Gives us about a 16-18 inch round cage. And then, like Dawn said, we used to twist it together, but that's sharp, so now we use either, these are called hog rings. They're pretty inexpensive, but for that you need hog ring pliers. Here's the hog rings. Get these from Amazon. You can get them in regular metal or galvanized. Or if you're not making that many, zip ties is the way to go. 4-inch zip ties, you can get 100 of them for $5. 100 of them will at least easily make you 20 cages. So depending on what you want to do. So the hog ring, just put on there and squeeze. It's really quick and easy. There you go, got a nice tomato cage. That's about 1.5 feet round. Very strong.
We got 3 to go.
So to cut these cages, I use a fencing tool. This just cuts them pretty quick. You can use a grinder.
Let me help him. All right, so.
Here's our roll. Got to measure out 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
Because it's the end of the roll, it's a little harder to open.
One advantage to this, it's a little harder to play with, but at the same time when you're done, it's already bent into a perfect circle.
Right.
9. 1, 2, 6, 7, 8, 9.
I'll move down. Wait, let me get that side.
So if you don't want to get the whole hog ring set up, which is really not that expensive, but if you're not doing a bunch of them, these are 8-inch. You can get 4-inch zip ties at Lowe's for $5. And then we'll just cut that extra off. There you go, 2 cages. 2 to go.
You cutting those things off? Yep. So these are the extra tabs. We cut them off.
If you were bending them, then you would use that.
Right. That's what we did when we first started. We just bent them together. Like I said, when you're picking tomatoes and the tomato cages are really full, then it's you get scratched up.
Three. Take the hog ring into the hog ring plier and squeeze. Some people use these for jewelry. Four quick cages.
Yep. Now we just got to put it on my summer squash. Since we waited a little while to put these on, we just pick up the leaves. Okay. One. And this last one has the most leaves, of course. Okay. There you go.
And then these middle ones we just tie to the ones that are tied down to the, or ones that are zip tied to the T-post.
So there's the one we just put in. You see how wobbly it is. These are the ones we put in already. You see, they are tied together, the whole row. So real sturdy because of the T-post.
But once the plants grow up, the plants will hold them all together too.
This only moves a little bit. So we will just take a string line and tie this up. It'll be really strong. And like Tom said, once all the plants go together, they're really strong. So this is how we do our squash vertically. We do a lot of things vertically, and we also do trellis horizontal, like I showed in the last video with the peppers and flowers and anything else that needs cages. We like to use this trellis and these cages. It saves a lot of space in the garden, so we can get a lot more planted in here. And I can't wait to show you in a couple months with the winter squash especially, how it grows all up these cages, and then we weave them back and forth, and then the squashes just hang off. And it keeps a lot of the pest off of them. And this is our tomato cages for our determinate tomatoes. This is how we grow these. They don't get as tall. They only get about this tall usually, sometimes a little taller, but these are the determinate. These are my Mountain Fresh. So like I said, they'll get about this tall. I use these for canning. They usually come in all close together. And then I have my indeterminate tomatoes, my eating tomatoes. They grow vertically on these trellises. Same principle. We use a T-post, and then we have our netting that we put on here. And this is a great way to grow tomatoes. It's still June, and look how big they are already. And we're starting to get tomatoes. And pretty soon this row of tomatoes will be about 8 feet tall. They grow all the way to the top. And this is a really good way to grow them. You can see them, they get lots of air circulation. I will be trimming them up a little bit. Same thing I do with my cucumbers. We grow the vertical on these systems too. So I'll be showing a garden tour in about a week. And then I'll show you how we do, a lot of different things to save space in the garden. And growing them vertically, they're not spreading all over the ground, they're not breaking. Same with my cucumbers over here. If you see over here, cucumbers are usually all over the place. You usually can't even find them because you have to lift them up off the ground. But growing things vertically, everything's up off the ground. You have your cucumbers, you'll be able to see them. We're just starting to get baby cucumbers now. So growing a vertical garden is saves so much space. It's so much better for the plants, I think. You can tell when there's any kind of pest or disease on them a lot easier. And we'll be showing you more about that in our tour of the garden. And thanks for watching how we do our cages for our squashes. And I hope you come back and watch our garden grow.